Yo, what's up, guys? My name is Sipo, aka the ZuluMachine, and today, guys, we got some good news for you. Singapore has just opened their borders. So, without wasting any time, guys, please subscribe to the channel, give a like, leave those comments down below, guys, and let's get this video started.
This could be us. So back to what I was saying. Could be us.
So, guys, today, as I said, guys, we've got some good news from Singapore, guys, and no more quarantine in Singapore. So let's unpack what are the updates they have, guys. We're gonna be updating from the 1st of April and the 22nd of April, guys. All the juicy details are gonna be updated in this video. So let's start to the video and let's get this thing started, guys. So basically, we're gonna be looking at all the international restrictions and also the internal restrictions. So international restrictions and internal restrictions. Yeah. Anyway, so first thing, guys. If you are fully vaccinated from the 1st of April 2022, Singapore basically the update says from 1st of April, Singapore vaccinated travel lane scheme ends. So if you are traveling before April 1, you must see the safety, but today we're not going to talk about that, but we're going to talk about from the 1st. So if you're traveling from the 1st of April and you're fully vaccinated, you can enter Singapore without needing to quarantine, guys, without needing to quarantine. So you must be fully vaccinated and have a digital or a physical copy of your vaccination status. So those are the first thing that you must have. Number 2, you must take the required COVID-19 test within 2 days before departure and be able to show the results in the required format. So pre-departure tests are required for those who entering Singapore by air or sea, but not those entering by land or from Malaysia. So those are the difference when you enter in Singapore. Foreign vehicle entering Singapore from Malaysia must pre-register. There's a URL that must pre-register on it. I will put it in the description, that URL, so that you must know which URL you must pre-register on. And children age 12 and under who are unvaccinated but traveling with a fully vaccinated parent or guardian can enter Singapore. So if you have a kid that's younger than 12 years old and is not vaccinated, you basically are allowed to enter Singapore. This includes children that are actually turning 12 on that year or in 2022. Basically, in this year, they are also allowed to travel with a parent when they are not vaccinated. Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, if you are fully vaccinated, you are covered and you recovered from COVID-19 in the past 3 months. And you may be expected taking a COVID test 19. Now, you may be exempt from taking a COVID test. Yeah. So if you are fully vaccinated and you recovered from COVID-19, guys, you may be exempt from taking a COVID test. So that's a good update for that. For all the other information that you need to see on the Travel Safe website to complete. Actually, you need to complete a form on the Travel Safe website. I will also put the travel website on the description, guys, so that you can double check it if it's good for you and there's information that they have is actually good. But there is something that you have to complete information. Yeah. So they said see this travel safety, see the Travel Safe, the Safe Travel website for complete information. Yeah, not completing, but complete information for all the information that you have. So I'll put that URL below. What happens if you are tested positive for COVID-19? You will need to be self-isolated at the hotel or home you are staying in. What happens next will depends on whether you are well or unwell. Ask MOH. And MOH has a URL for it also. I will also put it on the description, the MOH URL. Breaking self-isolation or quarantine orders is an offense, so be careful. So breaking those rules is a offense. Proof of vaccination status: you must show that you have been fully vaccinated to enter Singapore. So that's the only thing they need. Just prove that you are fully vaccinated. If you're on a short-term pass in Singapore, you will have to download the Trace Together app or buy a Trace Together token to scan in and out of public areas. So I will also download. I will also put the links for the Trace Together app on the description, guys, and also the Trace Together token also in the description. Those URL will be there just for you so that you can actually see what are those. If you are not fully vaccinated, you cannot enter Singapore unless you are a Singapore citizen or a permanent resident. However, it is possible to apply for a permission for unvaccinated people to enter for special reasons. Excuse me, such as unvaccinated children from 13 until 18 years old, of long-term pass holders for compensate grounds or for compensate grounds or something like that. So if your kids are 13 and 14 years old of long-term pass, if want a long-term pass holder, you can apply for that if they're not vaccinated. Unvaccinated travelers given permission to undergo 7-day quarantine on arrival, followed by a PCR test, and obtain a travel insurance with a minimum of $30,000 to cover any COVID-19 related medical charges. For more details, visit the Travel Safe website, guys. Travel website is also on the description. As I said, guys, I will not go through the travel website. But when it comes to travel insurance, guys, today I have a cough that doesn't want to end. Okay. After that, so on the travel safety insurance, guys. So you know that there's only one insurance that, and I will suggest for you guys. If you don't know it now, the link of it is gonna be on the description also, guys. It's gonna be there for you to click on it. And basically, SafetyWing is our SafetyWing is our company that's give us travel insurance, especially for there's an option called Nomad Insurance, guys. So Nomad Insurance is the one that covers you for COVID and other related stuff. It's gonna be the best one for you if you want to travel overseas. And children do not pay any amount. Okay, children must be accompanied by an adult. That's the first thing that they tell you. And children older than 14 days but less than 10 years. Okay, let me read it. So if you have a Nomad Insurance, guys, or Nomad Insurance from SafetyWing, and you get a special deal for children older than 14 days and less than 9 years, guys. It says that one child older than 14 years but less than 10 years, 14 days, less than 10 years old per adult is included in the insurance without adding any extra cost. So basically, your children are going to be covered for free. And the maximum children per group is, okay, you have 2 maximum children per group, for family group that are going to be covered without actually you paying extra. So guys, just go for SafetyWing. I'll put the link for SafetyWing, guys, in the description also, so that you get covered, guys, and you can cover your kids. And SafetyWing, the Nomad Insurance, guys, you can specify if you want a 4-week course or you want, like, maybe, for example, you want a 1 week where you're going overseas only for 1 week. You can specify it on the Nomad Insurance. Very cool, very easy. If you have a company, guys, there is like a company option for inside the SafetyWing website, guys, that you can check out. So feel free, click the link below to join the Nomad Insurance and in the SafetyWing company, guys. SafetyWing is the company, and the name of insurance that I suggest you should use is Nomad Insurance. But there are more options there if you want to explore more other options. Anyway, besides that, let's get back to our talk. Okay, children and young people, I don't know what they mean, but they mean children aged 13 and above in 22, including 12-year-olds turning 13 this year. must be vaccinated to travel in Singapore. So those who had one dose must apply for permission to. So those, if your kid has one dose, they must apply for visiting to Singapore. And if you need more information, it's on the Safe Travel website, guys. I'll put the Safe Travel in the description, as I said. And children aged 12 and under who are unvaccinated but traveling with fully vaccinated parents or guardian can enter Singapore. This includes children that are turning 12 this year. Woo! That's a good news. Excuse me. Children that are children that are born before 2022 are subjected to pre-departure tests if arriving by air or sea. So they also need to do a pre-departure test if they are born before 2022. So if they are born last year, they are going to be subjected to the same thing. See the Singapore Safe Travel website for full guidance, guys. I'll put the links for the Singapore Travel Safe website. If you are transiting through Singapore, transiting is when you pass through one country, one way to your final destination. Check with your airline if it is approved to transit through Singapore. All passengers transiting to Changi Airport for less than 24 hours are not required to have proof of a pre-departure test. But if you recently recovered from COVID-19, different rules apply depending on your vaccination status. So you're gonna have to check on that website. I also put the link for that if it's still the same website. I think it's still the Travel Safe website. You don't need a visa for airside transit in Singapore. So you don't need any visa if you're transiting to Singapore. Like if you're going to Bali, you land in Singapore and you take another flight to Bali. You don't need any visa for that. More information about transiting through the Singapore can be found on the transiting to Singapore page. So I'll put that transiting to Singapore page. It's on the Travel Safe website that I've been talking about all day. Okay, that's all the restriction that we have on the 1st of April update, guys. And the internal, now this was one a bit tricky now. So let's have a drink for that. So internal restrictions when you finally in Singapore. So traveling in Singapore, see here Singapore government website for the latest COVID-19 situation and measures in place. So there is a URL for the local government. I'll try to put the link on it and see if you can actually going to be helpful for you for the internal restriction. If you do not comply with these measurements, you could be fined or imprisoned or both, actually, then deported. So it's a bit harsh, but yeah. Repeated offenders will face further fines or prosecution. So do not break any rules, guys. Be aware that restriction and penalties are subjected to change at a short notice. So be aware of that. And public space and services, face mask. You must wear a face mask indoors, and on public transport, wearing face mask is optional outdoors. So when you're indoors in public transport, you must wear your mask, but outdoors it's actually optional. So you don't need to wear a mask outside the doors. It's optional. It's up to you. You're gonna have to decide on your own. Particularly open air hawker centers and coffee shops are regarded as indoors venues, so that requires you to wear a mask. So any place that has a stand or a place to eat, a coffee place, you are required to wear a mask until you start eating, I guess. But you are required to enter a mask because it's considered as an indoor venue. Yeah. Some exceptions. Wearing mask. Okay. Some exceptions for children under 6 years old. Okay. Anyone eating, drinking. Okay. So there's some exceptions. Children under 6 years old, they're not required to wear mask, but those are options. Anyone eating, drinking, or taking medication, or anyone engaging in strenuous exercise, they are not required to wear mask. Those are the exceptions. You could be fined or in prison or both if you find not wearing a face mask without a valid reason. Yeah, so be careful of that. The health science authorities guide on a face mask recommended to have at least 2 to 3 layers of fabric. So you know those masks when you buy a 2 or 3 layer mask, they are suggesting that you wear those masks so that it will help you. Trace app and health alerts via SMS. You need to scan it in and scan out of many places using the Trace Together app. So or a token. So I already put it, the Trace app and the token app, on the description also, guys. So be aware of those. So you might need to use them on many places when you're entering them and going out. Trace Together and fully vaccinated status is required to enter public places, including public buildings, shopping center and malls, schools, workplace, place of worship. Those are the places that I require you to have your Together app or token, I think. Yeah. Short-term foreign visitors must download the Trace Together app on their phone and activate while in Singapore. Mobile phones and / or local tourist SIM cards can be rented or purchased at the airport, guys, to enable visitors to do so. So just plan your whole day correctly and make sure that you buy a SIM card when you enter the airport so that you can download the Trace Together app. Yeah, and Trace Together tokens can be rented for children aged 7 until 12 or those with disabilities. So there is information that you can see. I'll try and put much link as I can, guys, in the description so that you can be able to download those Trace Together app or tokens. If you want more information about that, you're gonna have to read those websites. If you are identified as a close contact or a confirmed case as part of this contact tracing system, you may receive a health alert via SMS and you need to be tested. It is a legal requirement to follow COVID-19 instruction given to you by the Singapore government. So you might be required to test if you enter a place and it found out that something went wrong and a case opened. So everyone needs to be tested. Okay, vaccination status. To enter most public areas or anyone over 12 years old must be recognized as a fully vaccinated by a Singapore government definition. You will consider the fully vaccinated 14 days after your last dose, after you completed your dose of any of the following vaccination. Yeah. So if your last dose of Pfizer, I'm just saying, I'm making an example, but there's a list of vaccination that are here, vaccines that are here. So Pfizer, I know Pfizer does 2 doses. So if you're a second dose, that means you're gonna have spend 14 after those 14 days of your second dose, then you are fully vaccinated. The other one that they talk about, they said Moderna is also allowed as a vaccine. AstraZeneca, also known as Covishield, Johnson & Johnson, obviously, Sinovac, Sinopharm, yeah, and Covaxin is also allowed, and Novavax, yeah, it's another one. I don't know most of them. I only know Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and Covishield. I've heard about it. You'll need to show your Trace app or token to proof of vaccination before being allowed to enter Singapore vaccine booster program, including for those 12-year-olds and above. Okay, this is for a vaccine booster. If you are a resident in Singapore or have stayed in Singapore over 30 days and fail to get a booster shot within 270 days after your final dose, primary series, you will lose your fully vaccinated status. Yeah, so if you're gonna stay in Singapore for more than 30 days and you don't take your booster shots for within 270 days from your 30 days, then you're no longer vaccinated anymore. So be careful of that. If you're staying too long, maybe plan of getting a booster dosage before you even plan on staying longer than 30 days in Singapore. If you're not fully vaccinated, you will not be able to enter shops, more public attraction, visit someone in hospital, or dine or drink at restaurants, hawk centers, cafes, or bars. So those are the things that you cannot do if you're not vaccinated. Quarantine and home recovery. If you tested positive, you will initially be required to isolate at your hotel, resident accommodation. Instruction on what to do next, or whether you are well or not. Details are on the Singapore call it Live with COVID-19 page. So I'll try to put as much pages as I can, guys. But if those pages exist, I'll try to put them. If those pages don't exist, yeah, I'll put them on the description as much pages as I can. That's like will be helpful for you guys. And work, okay. Offices, they have to be up to 75% staff capacity for anyone who's going to be working in Singapore. Social gathering at work are allowed for groups up to 10 people. Social distancing rules still apply. So if you are unvaccinated, you are not allowed to go into the office. Vaccination is required to obtain or renew a long-term pass. So work pass or permanent resident. Okay, so we are required to vaccinate. Okay, vaccination is required to actually obtain or renew your long-term pass or your work pass or your permanent residence in Singapore. So if you're not vaccinated, you cannot get any of those. So be aware of that. Details of workplace matters under the advisory on the COVID-19 and also the Ministry of Manpower website. So those are the two websites they're gonna talk about. And social gathering and dining out when meeting with friends or family. So keep your group size maximum to 10 people. Even an event where masks are worn, up to 30 people can play sports together in some setting. So so if you have events of dining down or going to a bar, keep it to 10 people. If you're gonna play sports outside or something like that, like soccer or rugby, the maximum is 30 people. That's what they suggest. A maximum of 10 different or unique visitors can visit you at home at any one time. So they have a maximum visitors that you can come to your home. So if you're staying in basically in Singapore, so only 10 visitors, that's a maximum you can visit at your home at the same time. A maximum of 10 people can dine out at the restaurant together if they are fully vaccinated and can provide necessary proof. A maximum of 5 vaccinated people can dine together in venues that do not require vaccination status. So if the places doesn't require vaccination status to be shown, they only allow you to have 5 people to dine with you. So if don't require any vaccination status, the maximum is 5. If they require a vaccination status, then it's 10. Simple as that. Almost done, guys. Almost done, yeah. In the settings where masks are not being worn, such as meals, different groups of people should keep distance of 1 meter from each other. So 1 meter from each other, and if safe distancing is not possible while on public transport, or example, avoid speaking to each other or talking on the phone. So just keep yourself away from other people. That's what I'm saying. Or if you cannot be 1 meter apart from each other. For guidelines or measures, visit the Ministry of Health website or gov.sq. So I'll put most of these websites. I hope I'll remember the name of them. If I can't remember the names, then I'll just read their website, what it says, because I'm sure their websites are going to have topics, but I'll put as much information as I can. Okay, these are the updates that we had from the 1st of April. It is a lot, and I hope I'm actually helping you to just unpack it, to open it up, that if you're fully vaccinated, you can travel to Singapore without actually having quarantine. you might be required to do a test, a pre-departure test when you're leaving Singapore. I think that's the only thing that's what I mentioned on top of my head. And on the 22nd of April, the last update they had was Singapore significantly relaxing its COVID measures from 26 April, also affecting those wishing to travel the city. So internationally, full vaccinated visitors are no longer are required to have a pre-departure COVID test. You heard what I said? You said previously on the first one, they said you have to have a pre-departure COVID test. Now, you're no longer required to have a pre-departure COVID test when you're leaving Singapore. That's the update from the 22nd of April. The country already removed all other restrictions on the 1st. But that's what they're just telling. The country will also remove the most mask usage rule. And the Trace app and SafetyEntry app must only be used in large events, more than 500 participants, nightclubs, restaurants, and bars. So your Trace app now, they say that you must use it in the clubs, restaurants, and nightclubs. Okay, nightclubs and clubs. But the venue also, the other one was if you have more than 500 people in a venue, you must use those. So going to malls, obviously, there might be 500 people, so you might be required to use your Trace app. So you have the link for downloading the Trace app in the description, guys. International visitors must fill out the electronic arrival card before departing to Singapore. And passports are no longer stamped. So passports are no longer stamped, and you have to fill out your electronic arrival card before departing to Singapore. So I think your airliner might give you those cards, but it's electronic card, so you don't need to do them. I think you can do them on the website. I don't know how you're gonna do it, guys. You're gonna have to double check when you leave your country where you're gonna get that electronic card, because you might do it before you even leave your country. If your flight or your airline gives you, if you're using Singapore Airlines, obviously you must ask them if they have something like that so they can give you. Otherwise, double check all the information I just told you now when you're going to Singapore, guys. But Singapore is open for visiting. Hopefully, guys, you go there when you're feeling healthy or happy, or yeah. And it's also, I think it's going to be summer now. I think in Singapore, it's going to be summer now in Singapore, if I'm not mistaken, guys. So enjoy going to Singapore, guys, and have fun. Singapore is open, no more quarantine in Singapore. Enjoy yourself. For me, ZuluMachine, I'll check you out on the next video where we're going to be looking which place is actually open or closed. What are the updates for the next place? But we'll see. If you have anything to ask me, please ask me on the comments below. And do remember to click the subscribe button if you enjoyed all of these updates I gave you, guys. I don't give you as much as I can, but I try my best to give you as many as I can as I hear them, guys. Otherwise, ZuluMachine signing out. I'll see you another time. And kaboom.
This could be us. So back to what I was saying.